Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Texas Rangers franchise on MLB The Show 21 and the MSM Sports Network. Year 2 is finally here, and we have accumulated a couple of brand new stars in Trevor Story and Tyler Glasnow. You get a look at the money that we're spending on our two new franchise corner pieces. We've given an extension to Tyler Glasnow that runs over the next 5 years. There is a club option to cancel that contract after 4, but you get a look at what our revamped depth chart looks like as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa moves back to third base. That's where he won the Gold Glove in 2020, the pandemic season, and that's where he'll be starting for us this year. Take a look at the starting lineup, how we're going to fill out the lineup card here on opening day against the right-hander Shohei Ohtani. And you'll notice that Tyler Naquin will start against righties. Adolis Garcia will start against lefties. Yanni Hernandez and Ronald Guzman were also the other guys that made the Major League roster. Now, I didn't show you any of spring training, and this is what ended up happening. We went 9-16. I played a couple of games and basically just got a feel for the team, a feel for some of the bench guys. You see how Mackenzie Gore ended up. He went 2-3 with an ERA just above 6, but I was impressed with how his stuff played. And right now you get a chance to look at the stats from some of the guys. The most concerning stat was Trevor Story. He had 2 hits all spring training long, and I'm hoping that he can shake off that rust as he translates into the 2022 season. Adolis Garcia hit very well, and so did Ronald Guzman, and that's why Ronald made the starting roster for opening day. Here's how the starting rotation looks, as well as our bullpen. Mackenzie Gore has made the rotation, and he will be the number 5 starter for Texas this season. Kendall Graveman obviously joins the bullpen, as do Jonathan Hernandez and Jose Leclerc, both of them coming off of Tommy John surgery. It's going to be an exciting year, and it starts right now in Anaheim as the Texas Rangers traveled out west to take on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in a 4-game series to open up the 2022 season. Texas was a surprise team last season. The Angels were surprising in that they were not even close to competitive. Despite the pieces that they continue to try to add and the offense that they get from Shohei Ohtani when he's in the lineup and Mike Trout, who is Mr. All-World, the Angels continue to miss the postseason. And a new season starts right now as Tyler Glasnow makes his Texas Rangers debut against Shohei Ohtani. The Halos having their starting lineups announced as Justin Upton runs out of the dugout. He's hoping to be a big piece of a team that finally breaks that postseason barrier. It's a franchise that is in desperate need of a trip to October. And of course, that pursuit starts today as the Angels look to get off to a 1-0 start. So is Texas. And here's a look at the lineup cards as the Angels have Mike Trout batting third, still playing center field for them. They also added Zach Collins in the offseason. And you get a look at Shohei Ohtani, the starting pitcher, the ace of this staff, an abysmal season in 2021, 4-14 with an ERA north of 6. I don't know why Ohtani is never good on the mound in the show simulation, but it's a bug that I hope they iron out, and I hope eventually corrects itself in the simulation as the first pitch of the 2022 season misses downstairs to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the leadoff hitter once again, and the third baseman for the Texas Rangers. Apologize for the screen tear there. My recording software slowed down, but there is the first out of the ballgame. You get a look at the weather as well. It's a pleasant California afternoon. The wind is blowing out to center field. That's going to be huge today in one of the craziest ball games that I've ever played. Nick Solak now the next batter, 3-2 count, and the full count offering on its way from Ohtani, and it misses high and inside with the slider. Ohtani can run that fastball up into the high 90s, but it's really his command that sometimes eludes him and puts the Angels in precarious spots. So a runner on, and David Dahl, the 3-hole hitter. First pitch is a hanging breaking ball right down the middle, and this is clubbed into right field. Solak turns second. He's on his way to third. Dahl trying to get to second, and he will make it safely. Texas runners at second and third with just one out. and Ohtani already in trouble as the new franchise cornerstone, Trevor Story, digs in for his Texas Rangers debut. Story, the brand new Gold Glove shortstop of his hometown Texas Rangers, and a guy who's looking to get hot at the plate. Just a couple of base hits for him in spring training. He really didn't flash anything offensively, but can he do that this season? The very first pitch he sees, he pounds it into the ground at shortstop. Garcia will throw him out at first base, but it does get the opening run across, and Texas scores here in the first inning of the brand new season. They take a 1-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the first now, and it's Tyler Glasnow making his Texas Rangers debut. David Fletcher, the very first batter that he faces, and he swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Trevor Story for an easy first out. Glasnow, a guy that'll run the fastball up into the high 90s, but he also has some very good breaking pitches in his arsenal as he gets a quick second out. 2 outs on just 4 pitches, which Mike Trout then doubles as he tries to work the count. The 1-2 pitch from Glasnow and a swing and a miss from Mike Trout. Glasnow gets his first K as a Texas Ranger, and it was a perfect first frame for the Rangers on the mound. Nate Lowe now up to the plate with 1 out. He'll ground this one the other way for a base hit into left field. Jesse Winker over to corral it and make sure that Lowe only has a single. Next up was Sam Huff, and the very first pitch he saw driven deep out to right field. Brandon Marsh going for it, and he misplays it. It's over his head into the wall. Lowe over to third base as Sam Huff pulls in with a 1-out double, and Texas has runners at second and third for the second consecutive inning as Marsh just took a horrendous angle to that ball. Next batter's Tyler Naquin. Hard hit ball to first. Lowe's coming home, and he is thrown out at the plate as Naquin literally hit that ball too hard to get a run home. Jared Walsh with a quick decision, and Nate Lowe was dead to rights at the plate. The next batter is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's 0 for 1. Ohtani winds, fires, and this ball's crushed. Deep out to center field. Trout going back at the track. The wall looks up, and it's into the rock garden. Kiner-Falefa with a 3-run shot. And Texas expands the lead to 4-0 as they have blown it open against the Halos ace. Kiner-Falefa, not a guy known for power, but he gets a fastball right down the middle, and he does not miss it. 403 feet for the Rangers' third baseman. Well, Texas continued to take the 4-0 lead into the bottom of the second, and with the runner on first, Tyler Glasnow back on the mound, and he'll work out of it. He strikes Zach Collins out with a nasty changeup, and the Rangers take a 4-run lead to the top of the third inning. Well, Trevor Story dug in. He was 0 for 1 with a ground out and an RBI, looking for his first hit as a Texas Ranger, and the first pitch that he would get on its way from Shohei Ohtani. That's a slider that catches the bottom of the zone for strike 1. As Soria has a conversation with Blake Drummond, the home plate umpire. Next pitch, though, it doesn't matter. Clobbered right back up the middle into center field as Ohtani misses another spot, and Trevor Story on base for the first time in his Texas Rangers career. Willie Calhoun would dig in now in a 1-0 count on the Rangers' designated hitter. He was 0 for 1 striding into the plate for his second at bat. So Ohtani check of the runner. Story good speed over at first base, and Calhoun deep out to right center field. This one's got a lot of distance, and it's gone. Willie Calhoun, a 2-run shot. And Texas continues to pound Shohei Ohtani. 6-0 Rangers in the third inning. This is the issue that has plagued the Angels for years. Really, since they won their World Series in 2002, they just have not had arms that have been able to get them through a season and ultimately into postseason contention. As Calhoun admires, Ohtani watches in horror as that ball leaves the yard, and Joe Madden out of the dugout. He's going to pull his ace far earlier than he ever would have wanted as the Rangers continue their hot streak against the Japanese import, and Ohtani's day was finished. To the bottom of the third inning we go now, and this one grounded softly down to third base. IKF up with it easily, and the first out of the third inning is made. As Tyler Glasnow continues to miss bats and induce weak contact. With 2 outs now, a dribbler out to second base. Solak easily makes that play, and Tyler Glasnow has breezed through the first 3 innings of his Rangers debut. No runs and just 1 hit. As you look at the new Ranger manager, Jay Valdez, looking for his first victory in a Texas Rangers uniform. Taking over for Chris Woodward is this ball from Tyler Naquin, drilled back up the middle for a base hit. Naquin nearly took out Aaron Sledgers, the relief pitcher. As you get another look at it, that ball just a couple of inches away from hitting Sledgers in the face. So glad that he's okay after that. 2 on and an 0-2 count, and Solak rips this one into left field. That's a base hit. It goes to the wall. It was misplayed out in left field by Jesse Winker, and because Naquin hesitated, Solak ended up staying at first. So instead of second and third, it's just first and third with 1 out, but Texas up to a 7-0 lead. David Dahl, the next batter, he'll go back up the middle, and a runner will come in to score. Solak on his way to third now will hit the brakes and head back, and it is 8-0 Texas, as maybe if Solak is at second base, he scores there and makes it 9-0. Trevor Story now 1-2 pitch deep out to center field, but this one not going to quite carry all the way over the wall. The catch made by Trout. Solak will advance to third, but he wouldn't be able to come in and score as Willie Calhoun bounces this one softly over to third base. Rendon with the play, and we're through 3.5 with the Rangers up 8-0. Skip ahead now to the top of the 5th, and it's Nate Lowe to the plate. 1 for 2 today as the Rangers blowing out the Halos, but looking for more. Lowe going the other way, deep out to left field as Winker back to the track, reaches up and makes the catch just before he crashes into the wall. Lowe, another Ranger who just nearly went yard. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Is Tyler Glasnow going to get a 2-pitch out here on a bouncer down to third? IKF makes a good play. And Tyler Glasnow was absolutely breezing through this game, but some Angels started to work the count. Now it's Justin Upton on a 3-2 count, an 8-pitch at bat, deep out to left field. Dahl mistimes his jump, and this is over the wall and into the Angel bullpen. Justin Upton finally gets the Halos on the board. It's 8-1 now, it's Zach Collins to the plate. 1-0 pitch, and he drives this one deep out to center field. Naquin will give it a look, but it's into the shrubs, and the Angels strike back for 2 on back-to-back solo shots here in the 5th inning. Finally, the Angels having something to cheer about as a 3-2 count. Now Brandon Marsh swings and misses at a fastball that was near his eyes. 7th strikeout of the ballgame for Tyler Glasnow, and he would get out of the 5th inning, getting Luis Aviles Jr. to ground out. That would end the frame, and it would also conclude Glasnow's day as he gives up 2 runs on just 3 hits through 5 innings. To the bottom of the 7th now, and it's Kendall Graveman who's going to walk Jared Walsh, the leadoff hitter. Graveman came in the 6th and pitched a 3-up, 3-down inning, but he would struggle here in the 7th as he puts the leadoff man on. It would bring up Anthony Rendon, who's 1 for 2 on the days. Graveman peering in, going with the first pitch curveball, and this bounces and gets away from Sam Huff. Walsh takes off for second. The throw is in time, but it was to the shortstop side of the bag, and a wild pitch allows the Angels to get a runner on second base. That would prove costly for the Rangers as maybe a chance to turn the double play, but what a sensational effort by IKF at third base. You see, as we get a look at the replay, that's why we moved him back there. This ball bounces off the bag, and IKF still manages to corral it, make a jump throw over to first to get the first out of the inning. Justin Upton now at the plate. A 2-2 count here as Graveman looking to punch him out, and he makes a mistake. Right down the middle, Upton deep to left field, and over the Ranger bullpen. It's 8-4 as Graveman gave up a costly pitch right down the middle. He had him down to 2 strikes and cannot conclude the inning. Colby Allard coming out of the bullpen. Last year 4-5. ERA just above 5 and 88-plus innings worked. Zach Collins now to the plate, and second pitch of Allard's outing grounded out to second base. So there are 2 outs now, and Texas trying to get out of the bottom of the 7th with a 4-run lead. Next batter is Brandon Marsh, and a hard hit ball down to first base off the glove of Lowe. flips to the pitcher covering, but Allard was late as his follow-through took him to the third base side of the bag, so a runner on with 2 outs. Next batter, Aviles sends this one down third base way, but IKF can't pick it. The first error of the season for the Rangers, and it's their Gold Glove defender. So still 2 outs in the inning. Runners on first and second. David Fletcher now bloops this one down the line. It's a fair ball. It hit the chalk, and it will bring in the 5th run of the game as the Angels continue the inning. Now to Jesse Winker. The first pitch he sees is back up the middle. It's a base hit into center field. It brings home another run. The Rangers blowing this lead as the Angels continue to come back, and Allard is suddenly being hit extremely hard. So the Rangers quickly counter. They go to the bullpen for Jonathan Hernandez, who's making his first appearance in over a year and a half. He had Tommy John surgery last year that kept him sidelined all season long, and the 25-year-old would face Mike Trout in his first outing. The 1-0 pitch, a hanging curveball belted out to the track in right center field, and it gets down. 2 runs will come in to score as the throw from Solak is late, and the Angels have erased an 8-0 deficit to tie the ball game. Next batter, Jared Walsh, the cleanup hitter. He fouls this one off, so the Angels won't get a base hit on their first pitch. They had a base hit on 4 consecutive pitches. Then Walsh, an 0-1 pitch, deep out to center field. Jared Walsh has done it. The Angels have not only tied the game, but the first baseman gives them the lead with a 2-run shot off of Jonathan Hernandez, and the improbable has happened. Texas, in the span of 2 innings, has blown an 8-0 lead, and now they've got to play the comeback kids as Walsh and his teammates celebrate. Get a look at the pitch, and not a terrible location, but still, Walsh pounds that one deep out to center field. Nate Lowe, though, trying to respond in the top of the 8th. This one just misses getting out of the ballpark by a couple of feet, and the Rangers get the leadoff base runner on in the 8th inning. Tying run now at the plate for Sam Huff, and he'll swing and belt this one. High and deep out to left field. Winker going back towards the corner, reaches up and makes the catch at the track. Lowe tagging from second. He'll get to third easily. And so the Rangers have a runner just 90 feet away. Tyler Naquin now trying to go into left field the other way. Aviles, a throw to first in time. What a play by the shortstop, Luis Aviles Jr. And the Rangers do get a run, but crucially, Aviles takes away a base hit. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and Jonathan Hernandez still in the game. He'll get Upton to strike out. So no 3-home run performance for the Angels' designated hitter. That would bring up Zach Collins, who will pop this one up. And there are 2 outs coming in the 8th inning as Hernandez looking like he's settling down just a little bit. Something that the Rangers need him to do, just down 1. 0-1 count now. Brandon Marsh deep to right field. That ball will fly, and Marsh gives the Angels their insurance run right back as Hernandez comes in and gives up 2 home runs out of the bullpen. The Angels extend their lead back out to 2 runs, and now Texas will have it all to do in the 9th inning against Raisel Iglesias. Iglesias blew just 2 saves all of last season, one of the toughest closers in all of the big leagues to get runs against. Nick Solak would draw the opening assignment against the hard-throwing right-hander and fouls the first pitch off. Iglesias now trying to work ahead. 0-1 pitch. Solak deep out to left field. He gives this one a ride. Winker going back to the track, looking up. It's gone. Nick Solak on the second pitch that he sees from Iglesias puts it in the Rangers' bullpen, and Iglesias has given up a run, something that he doesn't do, on a long ball. Texas now just within 1, and David Dahl coming to the plate. The Rangers have now the tying run at the plate. As you get another look at Solak, he belted this one 400 feet off the bat and nearly took out the bullpen catcher. Well, David Dahl would strike out, and that would bring up Trevor Story, who is 1 for 4, a single and an RBI to his credit. 1-0 the count now to the Rangers shortstop. His Story trying to make something happen. He'll take a fastball right over the plate, deep out to right field. This one's got some carry on it. This one is gone. Trevor Story ties it up and fist pumps as he gives Raisel Iglesias just his third blown save in over a year. 3 batters in, and Texas takes away a save opportunity. They've tied it at 11, and the Rangers now have a chance to perhaps save the egg that would be on their face from blowing an 8-0 lead. As you see, Trevor Story just goes the opposite way into the right field corner, his first home run as a Texas Ranger, and that would get Iglesias out of the ball game as Alex Claudio came on. His first assignment would be Anderson Tejada, and a good battle from Tejada, but he'll get him to ground out softly to shortstop. So the Angels a chance to walk it off in the 9th with a run. Rangers have fought all the way back to tie it at 11, and one of the highest scoring games in opening day history is taking place in front of our eyes as Jose Leclerc comes in out of the bullpen. He also missed 2021 with Tommy John surgery, but had a good spring training. Off to a shaky start here, though, as he walks the leadoff hitter. Next batter grounds this one softly down to first base. Low flips to the pitcher covering, and there's 1 out for Mike Trout. 1-0 pitch, fly deep down the left field line, but it's hooking and it's foul as Trout nearly won the game right there for the Halos. 1-2 pitch now. Leclerc fastball catches the inside corner at 99. 1 out away from sending us to extra innings as Jose Leclerc freezes Mike Trout. Jared Walsh would be the next batter. A 1-0 count as Leclerc trying to work out of this for Texas. Misses downstairs, though, with the changeup. 2-0. Misses downstairs with that as well. And it's 3-0. Anthony Rendon lurking on deck. But Leclerc wouldn't give in. He'd get a strike here to Jared Walsh. Now the 3-1 coming. Fouled away, and Leclerc just a strike away from sending us to the 10th inning. 3-2 pitch. Fastball just runs off the plate. Leclerc issues his second walk of the inning, and he was out of gas. I had to bring in Brett Martin here. 2-0 pitch over for a strike, but a dangerous matchup in Anthony Rendon, the power righty. 2-1 pitch, grounded back up the middle. Story a dive, he can't get to it. Naquin in center field. Here's the throw to the plate. It's up the line, and Texas loses opening day. A game in which they held an 8-0 lead in the 5th and an 8-2 lead in the 7th. The Halos with the biggest comeback in opening day history take out the Texas Rangers and win an absolute classic 12-1 to win their home opener. Cannot believe what just unfolded, and as I played that game, I was stunned. I had my jaw on the floor from basically the 7th inning on. I've never had a game get away from me that quickly. So a disappointing end to this one, to be sure. Right now you're getting to see all of the lineups that have been put together to start the 2022 season. You can kind of pick out the highlights of those. I showed you most of the highlights throughout free agency, but you can kind of see where other guys have ended up as this season starts. As for what this season will look like, as I did a lot last season, I plan on doing a lot of quick managing as well, so not every single episode will be just highlights. Some of it will be quick managed. There will be highlights. There will be play-by-play episodes, I'm sure. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge to keep putting out episodes at the clip that I have been, just due to my new work schedule that's coming up. I've got to move in the short-term future, and obviously a new job to get adapted to. So let me know if you like what's going on in this series. Leave a like and subscribe, and as always, feel free to reach out via Twitter or a comment down below. I love making these episodes. I know obviously this is not necessarily done for views. It is truly a personal project that I've wanted to do something like this for quite some time. I love getting to play the game, but also to tell a story, and this series has allowed me to do that. So for those of you that are watching and enjoying it, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. In the next episode, we will look at Mackenzie Gore's first start as a Texas Ranger. Cannot wait to get into that. We'll also pay attention to the minor leagues coming up as well. Until next time, so long, everybody.